Okay. All right. Ty Simpson is the Rams pick at 13. There was rumors before the draft, like right before the draft, that Les Snead said, "Hey kid, you should come in this draft. You're gonna be a first round pick." And so everybody thought, well, naturally, they have pick 29, so they're gonna draft him at pick 29. They trade away pick 29 for the previously mentioned Trent McDuffie, and they pick him now at 13. After, again, they are in a Super Bowl window. They were a few moments away from playing for the Super Bowl after facing Seattle, and now 3-ish months later, they're pivoting on a quarterback who has all the concerns you can have: undersized, durability issues. He's only played 15 total games, and now he's going to sit. And their quarterback won the MVP trophy in January. Ben, what were your thoughts?
For literally everything that you just said, I hated this pick.
Yeah.
And given I will lay it out, I am obviously coming from a short-sighted perspective here, right? Because if things could turn out very, very well, how often are you going to be picking at pick 13? As you said, you're in a Super Bowl window, and you don't ever expect to be drafting this high. So in theory, the pick makes sense. But because you are in the Super Bowl window and you don't expect to be picking at pick 13, you should have gotten a culture changer, someone that can come in and immediately put you over that edge because you were right there. And Ty Simpson obviously isn't going to be a guy that's going to be playing, at least this year, maybe not even next year. And your Super Bowl window is wide open right now. Go and get someone that will help you win the Super Bowl right now. Ty Simpson's not that. And again, all could be well in 5 years from now, and we could say, wow, this is a great galaxy brain move, and you set yourself up for a future for the next 15 years. But my focus would be on winning a Super Bowl right now, and this move does not allow you to do that.
I'm gonna counter it a little bit and have some fun here, right? Mm-hmm. So, Mekhi Lemon was constantly mocked to this team, and I think that's in mind, understanding that Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford are likely gone.
Yeah.
Right? My question is, looking at this depth chart right now, and then looking at who was on the board, yes, you could have gone Mekhi Lemon, but besides...
Who went any wide receiver?
I'm just saying, is there a guy that you would have preferred them take over? Because my perspective is they got their guy that came in and changed the culture by trading for Trent McDuffie. That's going to move the needle a little bit more.
Okay, I like that.
So my thing
that's their over-the-top move.
That's their over-the-top. So you have a guy in Ty Simpson that you don't have to start right now.
Yeah.
And you've got an MVP that can lead the way. Now, you can reassure your MVP by saying, hey, you're our Super Bowl window until you decide to hang him up. But at the end of this past season, and even the season before that, we were asking questions, are the injuries racking up for this guy?
I remember when July he was in that, that futuristic chamber or whatever.
What point in time do we start asking questions about Matthew Stafford's health and future? Well, it looks like they're asking the same questions, and like you said, if he doesn't play in the next 2 years, that's fine, because you have a guy that's still, despite his age, performing at a very high level, can win you championships. I like the pick because, for one, it's fun and nobody was anticipating this. But for two, looking at the board itself and how everything fell, Ty Simpson can potentially set you up for the next couple of years. And you're not going to be in a position next year to draft a quarterback if Matthew Stafford happens to retire.
I think my main issue too that it comes back to with Ty Simpson is I'm just lower on Ty Simpson than anyone. Even if this was a quarterback needy team, if the Steelers traded up to pick 13 and drafted Ty Simpson today, I still would have said that was a bad pick.
Yeah.
Because Ty Simpson should not be a top 15 pick. I don't think Ty Simpson should have been a first round pick. And then you add it's a team that he won't be playing on for 2 years. That's why I am just so against it. But again, if it turns out well, I mean, you set yourself up for success. But I've never been in on Ty at all.
I'll counter it yet again, just for the mere fact of
Discussion.
You're at 13, and yes, I understand. Like, I didn't even think he was a first round quarterback, but I figured somebody would move back into the first round to go and get him and get it that 5th year option, right?
Yes.
Well, if you're the Rams, yes, you could take a trade back with the intention, if your intention going into this was Ty Simpson. But you're also making the risk of, again, we're in a Super Bowl window. We've made deep runs in the last couple years. Like, we might not have another chance to get our guy, and this is a guy that we could develop and see something in. We might as well just take him now.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get the 5th year. So, like, if Stafford retires next year or the year after, you still have 3 to 4 years as far as, time with this guy to where you can extend your Super Bowl window with him. And assuming that he is at least average, you can make a run. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
So I genuinely think, like, and again, this could be for the sake of discussion, but for a team like the Rams, it's ballsy. It's crazy. Nobody saw it coming. But sometimes it's what you have to do to set yourself up. Remember the Packers, for example?
Yeah.
I mean, they
The
drafted...
Packers did it late in the first.
And they did, but they were in that position.
Yeah.
And it was whether or not, okay, well, this guy's still available. We might as well take him now. They could have drafted a receiver.
I also like Jordan Love better than I like Ty. For me too. It comes back to the quarterback. I don't like the quarterback. We could, again, I think you can justify the pick for many ways.
Yeah.
We could talk about this pick for an hour.
My thing is, we could sit here and bash the kid and bash the pick, or we could think about it logically as to why this happened.
Yeah.
And to me, it's interesting, and it's worth considering that maybe this wasn't a bad option to begin with, considering where this team is as a championship caliber team in 2026 to 2027.
Yeah, I think the word I like to use sometimes is, like, especially with the Saints, the way they draft and the way they trade up for their players, it's called drafting arrogantly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think the Rams are drafting arrogantly, not in terms of, like, we think the player is going to hit in that way. Like, obviously they do, but the fact that they're not going to be picking this high again.
Yes.
They're going to be in the playoffs every time. And so we're not going to be having the opportunity to pick the quarterback 2, who clearly they covet, in the top 15 picks, because we're just not going to have the top 15 picks. So it's a fascinating discussion. I like that both of you attacked it from either angle that's needed.
Yeah.
I've said it, like, I don't think there's any pick here that I'm like, wow, that's a terrible pick. And again,
other than 6.
again, like, it's just, I'm really interested to see how this transpires, because Ryan makes a great point. Those 365 days of, like we thought Stafford was going to be a Raider at one point, right? Remember that? Then we thought he wasn't going to play football last season, and then he wins the MVP. And again, like I mentioned, they come plays away from the Super Bowl. It's just a ruckus kind of,
roller coaster for this team. And so, I think fun to get nuanced discussion on Ty Simpson. And now